Hello, welcome. As you guys can see by the title, I'm going to be sharing things that I won't be buying or will not be buying in 2025. Some of these things are things that I'm actively trying to not buy in 2025 and kind of maybe no longer. Or some of these are things that I've just kind of never really bought into or consistently bought anyways. And before we get into the items, I really just want to say that these are things that will work for me. This is my opinions. Like, if one of the items is something that you collect or you buy or you love and it means so much to you, please buy it. Like, if it's something that brings you so much joy, buy it. Like, who am I to say anything, right? This is no judgment. This is just things that work for me, my lifestyle, things that I prioritize and things that I love or don't love. So with that being said, let's get straight into the things that I'm no longer buying in 2025. First one is a water bottle. Reusable water bottle. I've bought too many. I think I've had like 4 hydro flasks. I've had a Stanley. I've had now an Awala. And I kept getting bought into the cute colors and the different use cases and all that. And it's just not the point of having a reusable water bottle. I feel like the point of a reusable water bottle is, I feel like, less waste and less consumption. And yet I bought into all the cute and different types of water bottles. So yeah, no more water bottles for me, unless maybe if mine broke or something. Replacement is fine, but nothing just buying another one. Okay, my second thing is candles. So I never really was a candle girl ever, but then I started seeing it on TikTok. It's aesthetic, it sets a vibe, and being on YouTube, I try to make things slightly aesthetic and at least clean looking and somewhat presentable in a background or in a vlog. So I started buying candles, but for the most part, I don't light them, but I keep buying candles and I'm smelling them at TJ Maxx or Target. And I'm just like, why am I buying candles? I barely light them and I use them purely just for aesthetic purposes. I don't need any more candles. And for the most part, I use a diffuser. So, candles for me is just not a thing I need to be buying, so I won't be buying them anymore. All right, on to the third thing is physical books. And for those who are physical book girlies, I get it. I love a good physical book. The pages are just beautiful, the turn, the smell, the feel. I get it. I just don't got the space for that anymore. I have a pretty big room and I already don't have the space for that. Once I move into an apartment with my fiance, I will have even less space in an even smaller room, in an even smaller total square footage. So physical books is just not something that I am trying to prioritize to have. I also have a Kindle. So if I can have 1,000 books in my Kindle, that takes up the same amount of space, no matter how many books I have. To me, at that point, the physical book is just not worth it anymore. And I've actually noticed, I went back to read one of my favorite books. I don't know if you can see it, but I have some physical books up there. These are I don't want to say these are my favorite books, but at one point they were my favorite books. I've outgrown a lot of them, but I've went back to reread them recently, and reading on a book is actually a lot less comfortable. Like with a Kindle, you could lay back, have a pop socket, and just use the thing. But you'd have to hold the whole book and turn the page, and it's such a small thing. But I think how easy a Kindle is to use and the ebooks is just so much more worth than buying a physical book. So yeah, no more physical books in 2025. Now our fourth thing is slightly more of a bigger category, and it's figurines, blind boxes, gacha, etc. I love a good blind box. I love a good figurine. I have a Labubu. This was actually gifted to me, and I have a bunch of other anime ones hanging on my wall, but I actually did get rid of a lot just because I outgrew certain characters. I have no more space for them, and they were just kind of gathering dust, really. And figurines are just kind of a thing to look at. And while I do love having some figurines, I think now I don't need to be buying so many. I have ones that I love, but I realized I kept buying them just because, ooh, I like this one little one in a blind box. And if I don't get the one that I like, I just wasted money, you know? And this isn't to say that if I get a new favorite anime character or just character in general, that I'll never buy a figurine ever again. But now I'm just making sure I only buy ones that I know I truly like for characters that I truly loved and actually like spent time with. I used to buy figures of a character that I've only watched maybe 1 or 2 seasons of, and the whole show might be like 10 or 12 seasons, and then I'm like, oh, I actually don't like you. Or you're not as cool as I thought, or vice versa. Like, I never got a figurine of this person. So for blind boxes specifically, I think that's a total like out. Like, no more buying that at all, because you never know which one you're gonna get. And that luck, dopamine, like Sarah, I don't know what the right one is, but that whole suspense thing is really short-lived. I feel like that's what you're paying for. Whereas with figurines, I'm still open to buying some because I know exactly which one I'm getting, but I'm gonna be making sure that I'm very mindful in what character I'm getting or what figurine I'm getting, and making sure that I really like it and I've really thought about it, rather than just buying things and figurines because I saw it and because I wanted that adrenaline rush of a blind box or something. All right, and for the next couple ones, we're gonna stick to kind of a broad range rather than specific, like candle or water bottle. The next one is hobby items. I don't want to say that I'll never buy a hobby item ever again, but I'm the type of person who, once I get into a hobby, I tend to really jump in, and I think that I can pay my way to get better at things, when really no, it takes time and practice. So when I take on a new hobby, it gets quite expensive because I like buying the best of the best things for some reason. And like making it as easy for myself, even though who knows if I'm sticking to this like hobby, you know? Like, I bought a Cricut the one time I needed to cut a sticker out. I'm like, dude, do I really need to buy that Cricut? I mean, now it's really helpful. So I guess more specifically, not just hobby items, but hobby items like right in the beginning, you don't need to buy the best of the best. Buy the minimum thing that you need to get started, and then no more than that until I know that it's really something I love and will continue to do and want to put more money into. All right. Number 6 of what I'm not buying anymore this year is excess stationery. I used to be such a stationery girl, planner girl. I even had a separate YouTube channel where I bought stationery. It was kind of like the planner tube kind of area, and I was really into that. But now I've found the right system that works for me. It's really simple, it's really simple and less decorative and more, I forgot the word right now, it's not coming to me, but like useful rather than just decorative. So I don't need excess stationery. I will buy like pens if needed, and I do have pens that I enjoy more than others. So I will maybe buy like a couple or a few from Japan or something, but not in excess, not colors I don't need. So yeah, for number 6, no excess stationery, whether that's pens, notebook, etc. None of that anymore. Number 7, things that are cute or things that are cool. This is similar to kind of like the gacha, the blind boxes, the figurines, but this is more broad. There's a lot of times where I buy clothes or shoes or like a little gadget from that Daiso dollar store thing where I'm like, oh, that's really cool or that's really cute, but I'd never use or wear it. I guess one example is that I think Daiso has this sealing thing where you can reseal chip bags or something so that they don't go stale, but like that's such a specific use case. And I've never really cared that much. I just saw it, I'm like, oh, that's cool, so I bought it. But like, I've never cared, and I've never needed it. Like, I bought something for a problem that didn't even need to be solved. And then a second example would be like a shirt, especially like graphic tees. Uniqlo has like some great graphic tees, whether they're SpongeBob or anime, and they're really cool. They're really cute. I'd love them, but I just know for a fact I'd never wear them. So things like that where even though I really like the look of it, if it actually is not something that fits within my lifestyle, I'm just not going to buy the cool, cute thing, unfortunately. And then, with that being said, our number 8 item are one-time use things. This is things like, oh, I need a red shirt, a very specific red shirt for Halloween, so I'm going to buy it, but I'd probably never wear it again. Or, oh, we're having a charcuterie party, and I don't have a wooden board for my charcuterie. I just want to not buy those things anymore and just try to use what I have. Like, we could use maybe a baking dish instead for our charcuterie. And it might not be as cute, but it gets the job done. And, you know, like, if we're never going to use it ever again, why buy it? And now for our 9th thing is body care items. This is slightly less broad than our last couple categories, But I've seen a lot of TikToks where I feel like a lot of people are tending to overconsume in body care items. And if you use the thing, buy as much as you actually use. That's totally great. But I just don't use body care items like that. I can use my own sugar at home for a sugar scrub, and I do that. I create my own sugar scrub with sugar, certain types of oil, maybe some essential oils for some smell, or even some vanilla extract to get that vanilla smell. So I never really need to buy any body care item. I think the only thing I do buy other than like body lotion is a shower oil or a body oil for extra moisture on certain weeks. But otherwise, I don't really buy body care. Now onto our ninth item, which is very similar to the body care, but now very specifically skincare. I used to be also into that really skincare YouTube, skincare TikTok, all the Korean, Japanese, American skinccares that are all great. I loved trying things out, but I realized that my skin doesn't really like trying things out. Like, I had some really bad acne previously when I had to try things out, and I was trying to find my perfect skincare and trying so many different things. So then I really cut out a lot of my skincare items, went to a derm, got a few prescriptions, which is mostly just retinol, and then one oral antibiotic, or was it spironolactone for hormonal acne. It really helped kind of clear it from the very beginning. And now the only prescription thing I use is tretinoin. And I have a pretty simple, basic skincare system that works for me now. And I'm not going to buy anything outside of that. I mean, I still will try out things like, a new moisturizer, because I'll always need a moisturizer. But I'll try it out once I had used my old one. Or if I want a new exfoliator, I can try out different exfoliators. But I won't be trying, let's say, niacinamide. But I won't be buying very specific things anymore. But I found that I don't need those things, and I don't need to try out all those things. And I'm going to only be buying the skincare that works for me, and no longer kind of trying out too many new steps in my skincare. All right, so those are kind of things that I'm no longer buying in 2025 or trying to avoid to buy in 2025 to kind of help with overconsumption and mindful spending. And if you have anything else that you guys are no longer buying in 2025 that I haven't mentioned here and you want to kind of talk about it, go ahead and comment that down below. Otherwise, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. See you guys in the next one. Bye.